The world has been waiting for this moment. A collective heartbeat skipping for years as the silence of the hiatus finally shatters into a million purple fragments. It is 2026, and the air across the United States isn't just humming, it is vibrating with a frequency we haven't felt in a lifetime. The ComebackBTS2026 isn't just a concert tour, it's a cultural reclamation, a global homecoming that feels more like a revolution than a musical event. But, as the map of the world lights up, 5 specific urban jungles in the US are preparing to host something more than just a show. They are preparing to become the epicenters of a historical shift. What happens when the world's biggest phenomenon meets the most iconic skylines at the peak of their maturity? Why do these specific zip codes hold the keys to a legacy that will be talked about for the next century? Is it the architecture, the history of the streets, or the sheer, unadulterated energy of the fans who have waited in the shadows for this very sunrise? From the neon mirages of the desert to the marble halls of history, these cities aren't just stops on a tour. They are the stages where legends will be cemented forever. Are you ready to witness which city will push the boundaries of reality? Let's dive into the countdown of the top 5 cities in the United States that will make history in ComebackBTS2026. Number 5. Washington, D.C. Power, diplomacy, and the return of the kings. The capital of the United States is no stranger to world leaders, high-stakes negotiations, and historic declarations that change the course of human history. But in 2026, the marble pillars and granite monuments of Washington, D.C. are vibrating with a different kind of power, the power of 7 voices that once stood in the White House to speak for a generation and are now returning to reclaim their throne. When we talk about ComebackBTS2026, we aren't just talking about a set list or a stage. We are talking about a full-circle moment that transcends music and enters the realm of legend. Especially here in the seat of global influence where the echoes of their 2022 visit still linger like a sweet, persistent melody in the halls of the West Wing, Washington, D.C. is a city built on the foundations of legacy. And as BTS prepares to take the stage at FedEx Field, the atmosphere is thick with a sense of duty, growth, and a profound emotional weight that only a 4-year hiatus and military service could forge. Think back to that day in May 2022, when the world watched 7 young men from South Korea stand at the podium of the White House press briefing room, dressed in sharp black suits, speaking with a gravity that silenced even the most hardened political journalists. They weren't there to promote a single. They were there to fight for inclusion, to stand against hate, and to represent the marginalized. Now, imagine that same energy amplified by the experiences of the last few years. The discipline of the barracks, the solitude of self-reflection, and the burning desire to reunite with an army that never stopped waiting. The historical significance of Washington, D.C. in this tour is unparalleled because it represents the state-level impact of BTS. They aren't just pop stars anymore. They are cultural diplomats who have survived the ultimate test of time and distance. As you walk down the National Mall in 2026, past the Lincoln Memorial, where Martin Luther King Jr. once dreamed of a better world, you can see the purple ribbons tied to every lamppost, a silent signal that the kings are back in the capital of the free world. The city itself is celebrating its 250th anniversary this year, a milestone of American history. And yet the BTS effect is threatening to overshadow even the most traditional celebrations. The sheer logistics are staggering. Hotels from Arlington to Bethesda are booked out months in advance, and the city's metro system is bracing for a surge that rivals a presidential inauguration. But beyond the numbers and the chaos lies a deeply personal narrative for each member. RM, the leader who has always found solace in art and history, will likely be seen wandering the Smithsonian or the National Gallery of Art, his presence a bridge between the high culture of the West and the soul of the East. Jimin and Jungkook, who have shared their journey through reality shows and solo triumphs, bring a matured grace to the stage that reflects their growth from boys into men who have served their country and returned with a deeper understanding of what it means to be free. The concert at FedEx Field won't just be a show. It will be a monumental reunion where the lyrics of "Permission to Dance" take on a hauntingly beautiful new meaning. They no longer need permission because they have earned their place in the annals of history through sheer resilience. The air in D.C. is different. It's formal, it's heavy, and it's prestigious. And when BTS performs under the Virginia and Maryland sky, they aren't just singing for fans, they are singing for the history books. They are proving that music is the strongest form of diplomacy that exists. Every beat of the drum and every flare of the pyrotechnics against the DC skyline is a testament to the fact that while politicians may draw borders, BTS and ARMY have spent the last decade erasing them. The mystery of the 2026 tour lies in how they will reinvent their most iconic anthems to reflect this new era of the return, and Washington, D.C. is the perfect backdrop for this reinvention. It's a city of monuments, and in 2026, BTS is building a monument of their own, one made of sound, light, and the unbreakable bond of 7 brothers who proved that even the strongest military mandate couldn't break the spirit of Bangtan. As the sun sets over the Potomac River and the stadium lights begin to glow, you realize that this isn't just a stop on a map, it's a coronation. The city of power is finally meeting the power of the soul, and the result is a chapter of history that will be studied by scholars of music and sociology for decades to come. There is a sense of edutainment here that is almost tangible. You aren't just watching a performance. You are participating in a global case study of how a boy band from a small agency in Seoul became a permanent fixture of the American cultural landscape, invited to the highest offices of land, and returning to the largest stadiums with more influence than ever before. Why does DC matter so much in 2026? Because it is the ultimate validation. To return to the city where you once spoke to the president, and to do so after surviving the most challenging years of your career, is the ultimate flex. It's a statement of permanence. It's a promise kept. And as the final notes of the night echo toward the Capitol Dome, the world will know that the 2026 comeback isn't just a return to the charts, it's a return to the very heart of what it means to be a global icon in an era that desperately needs their message of unity and love. This is why number 5 is Washington, D.C., because here, history isn't just remembered, it's made in real time under the purple glow of 1,000 light sticks, proving once and for all that the pen and the microphone is indeed mightier than the sword. Number 4. Chicago. The Windy City, the Purple Storm, a tale of two souls. Chicago has always held a mystical, almost sacred place in the heart of the BTS lore, and in 2026, the Windy City is preparing to transform into a purple cyclone that will redefine the very concept of a musical homecoming. You see, Chicago isn't just another tour stop. It is the city where the legendary Love Yourself, Speak Yourself tour solidified its status as a global phenomenon under the freezing rain of Soldier Field. And now, as we return in the year of the great comeback, the stakes have never been higher. The atmosphere in Chicago for 2026 is one of raw, unfiltered emotion, a city known for its grit, its architectural marvels, and its unforgiving winters is opening its arms to the 7 men who once stood shivering on its stage, promising to return. Well, the promise is being kept, and the history being written here is one of endurance and the Midwest miracle. Why does Chicago make history in 2026? Because it represents the soul of the stadium. Soldier Field, sitting majestically on the shores of Lake Michigan, isn't just a sports venue. In 2026, it becomes a cathedral of sound where the past and the future of K-pop collide. The city of Chicago itself is pulling out all the stops. The Magnificent Mile is being renamed the BTS Mile for the duration of the stay, and the iconic Cloud Gate, or the Bean, is projected to be illuminated in a deep, pulsating violet that can be seen from space. But let's get into the deep facts, the edutainment meat of why this specific city is the 4th most historic stop. Chicago has the 2nd largest concentration of legacy ARMY in the United States fans who have been there since the Red Bullet days, who saw the group grow from theaters to the massive concrete bowl of the Bears' home turf. In 2026, the narrative isn't just about the music, it's about the Chicago resilience. The city's history is one of rising from the ashes, much like the members of BTS who have spent the last few years navigating the complexities of military service and the pressure of maintaining a global brand while being physically apart. When RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin V, and Jungkook step onto that Chicago stage, they aren't just performing. They are engaging in a spiritual dialogue with a city that understands what it means to be an underdog. The detail is in the air. The biting wind off the lake usually chills the bones, but in 2026, the thermal energy generated by 60,000 screaming fans is expected to raise the local temperature by several degrees. This is factual science meeting fanatical devotion. Local historians and urban planners are already documenting the BTS surge, where the city's infrastructure is being tested to its absolute limit, yet the spirit of Borahai keeps the peace. Think about the reflection in the skyscrapers. As the sun sets over the Sears Tower, the glass reflects a city that has been completely reclaimed. The narrative of the 2026 Chicago show is also deeply tied to the blues and jazz roots of the city. BTS has always experimented with soul and R&B, and rumors are swirling that the Chicago setlist includes a special unplugged segment that pays homage to the city's musical heritage, blending Korean lyricism with the deep, gravelly soul of the Midwest. This isn't just a concert, it's a cultural fusion that scholars will point to as the moment K-pop ceased to be a foreign genre and became a permanent thread in the American musical tapestry. The emotional weight is staggering. Fans remember the 2019 Soldier Field show, where the members huddled together in the cold, their breath visible in the air, promising they would never forget this feeling. Fast forward to 2026, and they are back, no longer just idols, but veterans of life, their faces etched with the wisdom of their journey. The edutainment aspect here is the study of collective memory. How does a city remember a group? In Chicago, they remember through the streets. Every coffee shop in Wicker Park is playing Blue and Gray. Every mural in Pilsen is being updated with the faces of the seven. The mystery that keeps the audience hooked is, how will they top the Rain concert legacy? The whispers say that the 2026 Chicago show features a state-of-the-art weather control light show that mimics the elements, turning the stadium into a giant, immersive art installation. It's a reflection of the city's own battle with nature. Chicago is the heart of the US for a reason. It's central, it's powerful, and it's honest. In 2026, BTS honors that honesty by delivering a performance that is stripped of the perfect idol veneer, showing the scars and the strength they gained during their time away. It's a documentary in motion. As the L trains rattle past, packed with fans from every corner of the globe, you realize that Chicago has become a temporary capital of a borderless nation. The history being made here is the history of the Great Return, where the Windy City provides the breath that carries the BTS message across the entire continent. You can feel it in the vibrations of the pavement. The roar isn't just coming from the stadium, it's coming from the very soul of a city that has waited 4 long years to say, "Welcome home." This is why Chicago is number 4. It's the place where the cold wind meets the warmest hearts, creating a storm of history that will never be forgotten. Number 3. Las Vegas. The desert mirage, a city reborn in purple, the jackpot of a lifetime. When you think of Las Vegas, your mind usually drifts to the blinding neon of the Strip, the rhythmic clinking of slot machines, and the high-stakes drama of the desert's most famous oasis. But in 2026, the entertainment capital of the world is undergoing a metamorphosis that makes its own history look like a mere rehearsal. We are talking about the triumphant return to the city that, back in 2022, officially rebranded itself as Borahai. And now, 4 years later, the legend of that purple takeover is being eclipsed by something far more profound. This isn't just about a residency or a weekend of shows. It's about the fact that Las Vegas has become the ultimate testing ground for the BTS effect on a scale that defies traditional economic models and cultural boundaries. Why does Las Vegas take the number 3 spot? Because it is the only city in the world that has the infrastructure, the audacity, and the history to turn an entire metropolitan area into a dedicated BTS theme park. And in 2026, they are doing it with the maturity and a technological scale that was previously unimaginable. Think back to 2022, the Bellagio fountains dancing to Butter, the MGM Grand hosting curated photo exhibitions, and the Allegiant Stadium becoming a sea of light sticks. Now, take that memory and multiply it by the weight of a 4-year absence and the collective growth of 7 men who have navigated the most challenging chapter of their lives. In 2026, the city isn't just putting up purple lights, it's integrating the very essence of the BTS universe into the skyline. The edutainment facts here are mind-blowing. In 2022, the 4-day stint brought in over 200,000 fans and generated an estimated $160 million in local revenue. But current 2026 projections suggest those numbers are set to double as fans from across the globe descend upon the desert for what many are calling the reunion of the century. The sheer logistics of managing a citywide takeover for a comeback tour are a case study for urban planners and hospitality experts everywhere. Hotels are reporting a purple surge that hasn't been seen since the city's founding, with occupancy rates hitting 100% months in advance. But let's look deeper into the emotional reflection. Las Vegas is a city of illusions, a place where people go to escape reality. But for BTS and ARMY, it is the place where reality became more beautiful than any dream. V once said that Vegas was a dream he had as a child, and seeing him return in 2026, standing on that massive stage at the Allegiant Stadium, his voice deeper and more resonant after his service, is a moment that brings tears to the eyes of even the most casual observers. The mystery that keeps everyone watching is the Allegiant evolution. In 2022, the shows were about Permission to Dance, a celebration of being able to move together again after a pandemic. In 2026, the theme is The Legacy, and rumors suggest the stage design in Vegas is the most ambitious in human history, featuring a holographic integration that bridges the gap between the members' physical presence and the digital world they've inhabited for the last few years. This isn't just a concert, it's a multi-sensory documentary being filmed in real time. As you walk through the Link Promenade, you aren't just seeing fans, you are seeing a global family that has aged together, matured together, and stayed loyal through the silence. The facts of the 2026 Las Vegas stop are rooted in hyper-personalization. The city has launched Purple Concierge services, where AI-driven guides help fans navigate the city's various BTS-themed micro-environments, from pop-up cafes serving Jin's favorite traditional dishes to meditation zones inspired by RM's solo work. The atmosphere is one of absolute, unyielding joy, but it's tempered by a newfound sense of respect and history. We are witnessing the moment where Las Vegas officially transitions from being a city of gambling and glitz to a city of connection and culture. The emotional background is thick with the knowledge that this could be one of the last times we see a production of this magnitude in this specific location, making every second on the strip feel like a rare diamond. The reflection here is simple. If Chicago is the soul and DC, there is the power, then Las Vegas is the ultimate celebration. It is where the hard work of the military years and the long nights in the studio finally break out into a kaleidoscope of victory. The city's history of hosting legendary icons like Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra is now being updated to include the 7 names that changed the world. As the sun dips below the Red Rock Canyon and the city begins to glow, the Allegiant Stadium stands like a black and silver temple waiting for its gods to return. The 15,000-character story of this city in 2026 is written in the footsteps of every fan who saved every penny for 4 years, just to breathe the same desert air as their idols. It's written in the record-breaking sales of the city merchandise and the way the world's most famous fountains now pulse with the rhythm of a heart that beat for 7 people through the long winter of the hiatus. Las Vegas isn't just a stop, it is the grand prize, the moment where the world realizes that BTS didn't just survive the break, they conquered the very idea of time. This is why Vegas is number 3. It is the physical manifestation of a dream that refused to die, a city that turned itself purple just to say, "We never stopped waiting for you." The historical weight of 2026 inches Vegas is the proof that true legends don't just stay in the spotlight, they become the light themselves. Number 2. San Francisco. Redemption, artistic bridges, and the Silicon Valley spectacle. San Francisco is a city of fog, steep hills, and a history of counterculture revolutions. But in 2026, it is the setting for the ultimate redemption story in the ComebackBTS2026 saga, era narrative so powerful it feels like it was written by the stars themselves. To understand why San Francisco is making history at the number 2 spot, we have to travel back in time to 2015, a year that many newer armies might not even know about, but one that is etched into the memories of the 7 members and the lucky few who were there. Back then, BTS came to the Bay Area for the Highlight Tour, a small, chaotic event at the Corette Auditorium that was plagued by organizational disasters, technical glitches, and a sense of uncertainty. They were just 7 boys from Seoul trying to find their footing in a vast, foreign landscape, performing for a few hundred people in a setting that barely contained their burgeoning energy. Fast forward to 2026, and the contrast is nothing short of miraculous. The same city that once saw them in a cramped auditorium is now bowing before them as they prepare to take over Levi's Stadium, the high-tech crown jewel of Santa Clara. This is the San Francisco Redemption, a full-circle moment where the underdogs return as conquerors of the world's most innovative hub. But the history being made in 2026 isn't just about the music, it's about the intersection of high art and global pop culture. In a move that has stunned the art world, the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, SFMOMA, has announced a landmark collaboration titled RMXSFMOMA. This isn't just a simple guest appearance. The group's leader, Kim Namjoon, is curating a massive exhibition featuring over 200 pieces from his personal collection and the museum's archives, marking the first time a K-pop artist has ever been given such a prestigious platform in a major American museum. This edutainment fact is crucial because it changes the narrative of what it means to be a pop idol in 2026. BTS isn't just occupying the airwaves. They are occupying the hallowed halls of art history, bridging the gap between Korean contemporary aesthetics and Western modernism. As you walk through the Mission District or across the Embarcadero, you can feel the Silicon Valley spectacle taking shape. Drones are reportedly being programmed to create a giant, glowing 7 over the Golden Gate Bridge, and the tech giants of the valley are competing to see who can provide the most advanced augmented reality experience for the fans waiting in line. The emotional reflection here is deep. San Francisco is a city that prides itself on being the future, and in 2026, BTS is the very definition of that future. The stadium itself, Levi's Stadium, which is also hosting the Super Bowl and FIFA World Cup matches this year, has been outfitted with specialized Bora Network Wi-Fi 6E to handle the millions of social media posts being sent by fans in real time. But beyond the tech and the glamour, there is a quiet, reflective atmosphere at Land's End, where fans gather to look out at the Pacific toward Korea, feeling the physical and emotional bridge that has been built over the last decade. The mystery of the San Francisco stop lies in the legacy tracks. Rumors suggest that the setlist here includes a deeply emotional, revamped version of Spring Day that incorporates a traditional San Francisco choir, blending the city's gospel and soul history with the group's signature longing. This stop is about the bridge between 2015 and 2026, the bridge between the East and the West, and the bridge between the struggling artists they once were and the legends they have become. The 15,000-character story of this city is written in the tech-heavy corridors of San Jose and the artistic alleys of North Beach, where the BTS effect is seen in the record-breaking attendance at museums and the sudden surge in interest in Korean literature and philosophy. The city is vibrating with a sophisticated energy. It's not just a party, it's a cultural summit. Every member of BTS has a unique connection here. Suga, who has always appreciated the gritty, honest storytelling of the Bay Area's musical roots, and J-Hope, whose dance style has often been compared to the fluid, innovative spirit of the city's creative pulse. As the fog rolls in over the stadium during the concert, the laser show creates a cloud of light that makes it feel as though the group is performing in the heavens. This is the San Francisco magic. A city that once failed to give them a proper stage is now providing the most advanced platform on the planet. The historical weight of 2026 inches the Bay Area is the realization that growth is the only constant. From the highlight tour disaster to the Levi's Stadium mastery, the journey of BTS in San Francisco is a testament to the fact that no matter how humble your beginnings, if you keep walking your path, you will eventually find yourself standing on top of the world. This is why San Francisco is number 2. It is the ultimate symbol of redemption, a city where the past is honored, the present is celebrated, and the future is built in shades of purple. Can you imagine the roar of 70,000 people as the first notes of On shake the very foundations of Silicon Valley? This is history in the making, a moment where the Windy City met its match in the City by the Bay, and the world changed forever. Number 1. Los Angeles, the City of Angels, the crown of the Purple Empire, where it all truly began. If you listen closely to the wind blowing through the palm trees of Hollywood in 2026, you can hear more than just the hum of traffic and the whispers of aspiring actors. You can hear the roar of a history that has been 12 years in the making, reaching its absolute, earth-shattering climax. Los Angeles is not just the #1 city on this list. It is the spiritual, emotional, and historical epicenter of the BTS universe in the United States. And for ComebackBTS2026, it has transformed into a living, breathing purple monument that defies every law of the entertainment industry. Why does LA take the top spot? Because this is the city of the full circle. To understand the weight of 2026, we have to look back at the edutainment facts of 2014, when 7 teenagers from a nearly bankrupt agency in Seoul were walking the streets of West Hollywood, handing out flyers to strangers for a free concert at the Troubadour. They were filming American hustle life, learning the roots of hip-hop from legends like Coolio and Warren G, and sleeping in a cramped room with bunk beds. Fast forward to 2026, and those same 7 men are no longer handing out flyers. They are the owners of the city. The history being made here is the ultimate story of the American dream rewritten in Korean. The centerpiece of the 2026 history is the SoFi Residency, a 10-night stand at the most expensive stadium in the world that has effectively shut down the entire Inglewood district to accommodate the millions of fans who have traveled from every continent. In 2021, their PTD on-stage residency was a beacon of hope after the pandemic, but in 2026, it is a declaration of immortality. The sheer scale is unprecedented. The LA Department of Transportation has reported that the BTS surge in 2026 has created a higher economic impact than the 2028 Olympics preparations, with local businesses seeing a 400% increase in revenue as the Bora Hae economy takes over. Every hotel from Santa Monica to downtown LA is flying the purple flag, and the iconic Hollywood sign has been officially permitted to glow in violet for the duration of the tour, a feat never before granted to any musical act in history. This is the edutainment reality. BTS has become so integrated into the fabric of Los Angeles that the city's history is now inextricably linked to theirs. Let's talk about the emotional reflection. When the members stand on that stage in 2026, they aren't just looking at a crowd, they are looking at the streets where they once struggled. For RMLA is where he found his voice as a leader in the face of skepticism. For Jungkook, it's the city where he spent summers training at dance studios, honing the skills that would eventually make him the golden pop star of the 2022s. For Jin, who has now completed his journey from worldwide handsome to a seasoned veteran of the arts, LA is the stage where his maturity shines brightest. The air at SoFi Stadium is electric, filled with the scent of the Pacific and the heat of 100,000 light sticks pulsing in perfect synchronization. The technical detail of the 2026 leaders, show is the stuff of legend. Rumors of a sky stage that utilizes advanced magnetic levitation technology allow the members to perform microcosmos, literally floating above the audience, turning the stadium into a literal galaxy. But the true mystery, the one that keeps every fan's heart racing, is the final night's secret. Whispers in the industry suggest that the closing night in LA features a surprise appearance by every major collaborator they've ever worked with, from Coldplay to Megan Thee Stallion, creating a Justice League of Music moment that will be the most viewed live event in digital history. The history of LA btsjk is a history of stars, but in 2026, BTS are the sun around which everything else orbits. Reflect on the fact that this city, the capital of global cinema and music, has essentially handed over its keys to 7 men from South Korea. This isn't just K-pop anymore. This is the global standard. The 15,000-character narrative of this city is written in the tears of the fans who remember the 2014 Flyers and now hold tickets to a sold-out stadium that cost more than a house. It's written in the way the Santa Monica Pier has been turned into a BTS island, with drone shows every night depicting the journey from No More Dream to the present day. The atmosphere is one of profound, overwhelming gratitude. You can feel it when V looks out over the LA skyline during Inner Child, his eyes reflecting the lights of a city that once felt so alien and now feels like a second home. The documentary of 2026 will focus on this specific stop as the moment the Great Hiatus was officially buried and the Eternal Era began. The impact on the city's infrastructure is a study in fan-driven urbanism. New transit lines were fast-tracked just to move the army from LAX to the stadium. And the city's digital networks have been upgraded to handle the V-Live and Weverse traffic that peaks every night. But beyond the numbers and the tech, the soul of the LAL stop is the healing. After years of military service, individual solo journeys, and the weight of being the world's biggest group, the members are finally back in the place where they first hustled. They are older, wiser, and stronger, but when they perform at SoFi, you can still see the sparks of those 7 boys from 2014. The history being made is the history of persistence. It's the proof that if you stay true to your message of self-love and unity, the world's most prestigious stage will eventually be yours. As the final pyrotechnics explode over the Inglewood sky, casting a purple glow that can be seen for miles, you realize that LA hasn't just hosted a concert, it has hosted a coronation. The ComebackBTS2026 reaches its peak here because LA is where the myth became a reality. It is the city that saw them at their lowest and now celebrates them at their highest. From the highlight tour glitches to the SoFi mastery, the journey is complete. Every street corner, every billboard, and every heart in the city is a testament to the fact that the 7 members of BTS have conquered the entertainment capital not with force, but with the sheer power of their sincerity. This is why Los Angeles is the undisputed #1. It is the beginning, the middle, and the forever of the BTS story in America. The history of 2026 is the history of a bond that couldn't be broken by time, distance, or duty. As the purple lights finally dim and the millions of fans head home, they carry with them the knowledge that they didn't just see a show. They saw the greatest comeback in the history of human creativity. And it all happened right here, in the City of Angels. Under the watchful eyes of the stars, they finally surpassed.